All right, so the mistake everyone's making right now is to think that AI is just going to magically replace you and your entire team and allow you to just go chill on the beach somewhere and collect mailbox money. You know, look, as much as I wish that were true, just like you, it's a bunch of bullshit. It just isn't going to happen. I've helped over 4,000 entrepreneurs scale their businesses. And on this video today, I'm going to show you how you can actually use AI plus your team, or plus you if you don't have a team, to create the freedom that you've always wanted in your business. And that's probably why you started your business in the first place. And I'm also going to show you some of the mistakes that people are using or doing with AI right now that's actually costing you time, not helping you. So let's rock and roll. All right, so the first thing you got to do with your team and with AI is you have to empower your team to use AI. So we staff virtual assistants for entrepreneurs just like you every single day. We've staffed over 10,000 VAs. And the key here is to empower your team members to use AI. But the catch is you can't allow them to simply use AI for everything and not add that human element. So what I see a lot of is, and this kind of ties into one of the mistakes I'm going to talk about in a sec, but what I see a lot of is people just typing stuff into AI, taking what it spits out, and then using it. And you've seen this shit. Like if you go on Facebook right now, I guarantee you 90% of posts are written by AI. And you can tell, man, these posts suck. They all sound exactly the same. They all use the same format, right? It's like the short, punchy lines and this hits hard and you got to get in the room, all the same nonsense. You've seen it all, right? And so if you just let your team run wild with AI and start posting stuff that they get from it directly, you're going to have a lot of issues. So what's the right workflow? What's the right process? Well, first of all, you got to give AI what's called a master prompt. Master prompt is super easy. Just upload a bunch of stuff into AI that you've done. So if you've written things, not AI. Upload those. If you have posts you've done where you've written those, upload those. Talk to AI, right? So I talk to ChatGPT all the time. And you just put it on speech mode and just talk to it. Like tell it what you're thinking, what your goals are, what you want. And the more you do that, the more it's going to be able to write like you. And then when you have it write posts, what I always tell ChatGPT and what my team members do is write like me in my tone. Don't make this sound like AI. And that helps a little bit. But the catch is after you get those things back from AI, and this is whatever we're talking about, right? An analysis of something or a post or a lead magnet that you're going to use. What you want to do is you want to take that and you really want to put it through your own filter, your own lens. Use AI as a guide. Use AI for research. Use AI to shortcut a bunch of stuff for you, but don't just blindly use it to create stuff. And I can tell when people do that, and it doesn't work because it puts out a bunch of crap, right? So that's number one. You want to empower your team to use AI. However, the caveat is you want to make sure that you add that human touch or the human element to it, right? And then that way, what you're doing is you're having AI actually save you time, and that's actually my number two. Is that we empower our teammates to use AI, and it's a big part of what they do. However, I want people who are critical problem solvers. I want people who still can do things on their own and to understand what's going on. And so when we are hiring virtual assistants, those are the kinds of things I'm looking for, right, in that employment, not just someone who can regurgitate AI. I was actually doing an interview the other day. This was for a direct message appointment setter. So this is someone who sets appointments on DM, like Facebook Messenger and stuff like that. And obviously, like in the interview, the test was let's do a DM appointment setting. Pretend you're talking to me, and he did, and it was so obvious that he was just using AI. Like he was literally everything I'd write, he would go plug it into ChatGPT or whatever he's using, and then he would spit back to me the answer that it told him. And the reason I could tell was first of all, it took a while between responses. And second of all, they were so AI. So I'm like, hey, time out on this interview. And I'm like, hey, dude, stop using AI. I know you're doing it. You don't have to tell me. Stop it. Just write your own responses. Because if you can't do that, we're going to have a big problem, right? You can't just use AI for everything. So you still want problem solvers. You still want people who can do that, right? And then the third thing with respect to combining AI with your virtual assistant team, or whether if you have a real life team here, and virtual assistants are real, they are alive. I didn't mean to say that, but they're just in another country. So we staff from the Philippines, just as an example. But if you have teammates that are here, whether you have teammates that are there, the main goal here is you want to create a business that operates on systems. And so one of the main things that we use AI for is to help us create systems in every part of our business. But the team members, the virtual assistants, are still the ones creating those, right? So they're giving it the instructions, they're giving it the prompts. And speaking of that, I actually had an interesting thing. I remember back in the day when computers, I'm going to date myself, but earlier computers, first getting started and going and stuff. And one of the things I remember my uncle used to say was a computer programmer was, shit in, shit out, right? So you have to put in good information if you want good stuff back. So when we create these systems with our team and our virtual assistants, we got to put the right stuff in, what we want from our system, what the system's designed for, what the goal is, right? And ultimately have it come back to us with what we want to see. And then we're constantly making revisions and updates. So we're telling AI, hey, here's what I like, here's what I didn't like, here's what I actually posted. One of the mistakes, and I guess let's just get into mistakes, right? So one of the mistakes people make is they don't train AI after the fact. And so what I mean, by the way, I already told you use the master prompt, but what I mean is, like, you'll ask AI for a post, it'll give you a draft, you'll update the draft, you'll post the draft, but then you won't tell AI, hey, here's what I actually posted. So you want to do that kind of an afterwards thing so that it knows, hey, here's the changes that Danny made to this post to sound more like Kim. And then the next time you have that same post or the same thing you want to write, it'll already know, because you could just tell it, hey, use the suggestions I gave you last time, right? So that really helps. So big mistake, number one, obviously, is just thinking that AI is going to replace everything. It isn't, at least for now. And if it does, hey, we'll all go live on a beach somewhere and collect our checks or whatever we get, right? So that's number one. Number two is not training it properly, right? And just using exactly what it gives you, and not putting in the after effects afterwards, right? And then, I think personally, and here's mistake number three, is just relying on AI for everything. I know I've talked about this, but it's worth reiterating, because I think that now with AI becoming more prevalent in everything, I mean everything, like literally, like people can't even write a freaking email without using AI, or a text message, right? And so with that happening, my suggestion to you is that I personally think that the human element, the human touch, is going to become even more important, right? Because your story, the reason you started your business, the reason you do what you do, the reason your business does what it does, is you and your story. And AI cannot replace that, at least for now. I don't know, maybe it can. There's so much fake stuff out there, and so many AI bots and AI influencers now. I mean, you don't know what's real and what isn't. But we got to hold our ground against the machines. Otherwise, we're going to turn into a Terminator, and Skynet is going to take over. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. I hope you can figure out how to use AI with your team, with your virtual assistants. That's what we do every single day. We help our VAs, help our entrepreneurs using AI so that they become much more efficient, right? So what used to maybe need a team of 5 VAs, maybe now you only need 3. One VA can be maybe 300% more productive if they're using AI properly. That's what we train our people on every single day. So that's the difference between us and some of the other companies. We're not just a staffing company. We're really a coaching and consulting company that helps you implement and install those systems, and not just staff you with a VA and then you're left kind of on your own, not knowing exactly what to do. If you want to chat more about that, we got a link down in the description. You can book a call down there. We can chat with you, see exactly what's going on in your business, and see how we can help you. And, AI is great at one thing, and that is YouTube knows exactly what you need to watch next to continue to grow your business, to work less, to earn more, and have way more fun. And that video is right here. So watch this next. Subscribe and like. I'll see you on the next one.